Well, hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX India A-List. My name is Megha Sharma. In our endeavor to bring forth the stories of some of India's finest and the brightest, today we have put together yet another unmissable lineup of India's who's who. Our first guests for the day are the prolific singers Sukriti Kakkar and Prakriti Kakkar. They have several hit songs in Bollywood and have recently released hit remix of Dua Lipa's Levitating, composed by Amal Malik. Let's listen in.
Best known for their music in Bollywood.
People are kind of looking up at us as representing pop from India, and I think that's something that we've always wanted to hear.
The singing twins have several hit songs.
A lot of times people would ask us like, who do you want to sing for? Because there's so many actresses that you want to sing for, but I think our voice suits us the most.
Music's India A-List proudly recognizes Sukriti Kakkar and Prakriti Kakkar for excellence in entertainment.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our NewsX A-List series. We have joining us today two very special guests, well-known singers and sisters, Sukriti Kakkar and Prakriti Kakkar are joining us today. Welcome both of you. Thank you for being with us.
Hi, thank you so much for having us.
Let me get started with you, Sukriti. Firstly, on this new track of yours that's generating so many waves, which of course is your rendition of Levitating by Dua Lipa, which you guys have done with in collaboration with Amal Malik. So how's been the response? Tell us something about what fans have said, some best compliment you've received so far.
I think for both of us, this was like a lifelong dream. And, you growing up, you have so many people that you look up to and so many artists that you want to not even collaborate with so much, but, just keep hearing their music and get inspired. And, Dua Lipa was one of the reasons we started composing music, because we've seen her journey since she was 16 years old, and she's 25 now and we are 26. And I've always seen like a lot of similarities between the kind of music that we wanted to do, even though we've completely come from two different continents of, and worlds of music also and lives. But she's always been that one person who was always constantly inspiring us. And now to a point where, she does this smash hit Levitating, which is all over. Yeah. And there's an Asian remix, and the two of us got to be a part of that with Amal. Representing India, it's such a huge honor and such a big responsibility. And I think something that we're always going to be proud of, even I think 10 years from now. So some of the best comments that have come in have definitely been, how people are kind of looking up at us as representing pop from India, and I think that's something that we've always wanted to hear and always worked towards. So I think that's definitely amazing.
Okay, Prakriti, was this something that you always wanted to do? Why particularly Dua Lipa? You could have done any other international singer as well. I was reading somewhere you guys really like Justin Bieber as well, but why Dua Lipa, and why this particular song by her?
Well, I think, just being girls, I remember when her song New Rules dropped, I think it was, I felt like at that time in the pop scene, of course, globally and, like world music charts wise also, she kind of changed things around so much that she carved a niche for herself in a way that today there is like a, pop, synth pop as a genre. I feel like in a way it belongs to her, because I feel like she has in a way that she's just kind of named a whole genre behind her. And I really like her songwriting. We really like her aesthetic in her music videos. We absolutely love how she performs. Even when she was in Bombay, we were the first ones to make sure that we go for the concert. I remember having a gig on the same day, and we were just like, listen, she's coming to Bombay. We have to go and check her out, because we're such big ardent fans. And everything from the way she is on her social media to what she wears to the way she is and how open she is about things that she wants to talk about in certain songs. I mean, there's really nothing about her that we don't like. But also I think it's not something that we decided or intended to do. You know, it's something that came to us very surprisingly. So in a way, I feel like we've manifested it because, you know, we've been such big fans of hers and we've always wanted to work with her. And, you know, every time we're seeing her tour dates and making sure that if, you know, we can just probably go and watch her somewhere. And we're the first ones to see her video when it releases on YouTube. So we're really just big fans, and I think so much of her has happened in our, you know, musical journey as well. From just being inspired to trying to even style ourselves like her, that I think we've just manifested it in some way.
Can we hear a line of the song? Since both we have both you in the house, that'll be great. Of course, people are loving the track. They've heard the entire song online so many times. We got some amazing views. But can we listen to a line?
Of course. Show me what you feel inside. Say hi. Baby, it's a perfect time. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you for that. But I just have to ask you guys now, you know, looking back at your journey, we've, you know, this show is about, of course, profiling achievers, and both of you are definitely achievers in your own right in the music industry, of course, carving out a niche and a name for yourselves. But, you know, Sukriti, for you first, which do you believe was your turning point, you know, your changing song in your career, which changed your destiny, which you believe has been a game changer for you, or a moment? What was that?
Well, I think definitely in 2017, when I got to sing for the Dharma movie, Kapoor and Sons, and I got to sing for Alia Bhatt for Kar Gayi Chul. I think that was one of those things that you don't really imagine happening to you. And I think while you're in the studio and really working at the song, you don't think it's going to be like a mega hit that's going to be relevant even until now, which is so many years. So definitely, I was singing a lot of songs for a lot of actresses in a lot of movies. Some were hits, some were songs that people didn't know at all, but they were just a part of that album. But Kar Gayi Chul just flew. It just flew and it flew and it flew. And it was my first collaboration with Badshah and Amal Malik also at that time. And I think it changed things up for me. It made me believe that, like, you know, you can have a song which has so many millions of views and listeners. And from there it went on. So definitely that song.
For you, which has been your, you know...
But I think, you know, I don't know if I should call it a turning point, but it really changed things up for the both of us, I speak. Because, you know, most our lives have been singing for actresses, have been singing for films. And, you know, in some way in 2019 end, when we you know, featured and starred in our own music video for the first time, I think that really changed things up for us a lot, because I think it's also a little bit of a shift in our career. It's like experiment. It's a whole new ball game. I think, you know, featuring on your own voice is something that we always wanted to do since we were little kids. We were obsessed with the idea of being a band and like being a duo and singing and like doing music videos. And like, you know, a lot of times people would ask us like, who do you want to sing for? Of course, there's so many actresses that you want to sing for, but I think our voice suits us the most, you know. So I think when we did that, there was a song called Mafia that, you know, got so much love, and it still does. It was, you know, trending on Instagram Reels until like a week back. And it's a song that released in 2019, and it kind of set us apart in a way that people started looking at us in a different light. And I think that really helped. And
also it's quite interesting that you guys didn't plan it this way. It's not like you started out as singing twins, singing sisters, or were in a band together. You know, you did your own thing, and then it just happened that this collaboration happened. Now people are loving you, so you're doing more songs together. So that's quite interesting that it just happened very organically, isn't it?
I don't think it's something we really decided. And also, you know, we come from a time where, like, even in the independent space, there are not so many duos who are girls, really. And we don't have any, like, girl bands or boy bands, really. We do have some boy bands, of course, but we don't have an all-girl band or, like, a duo for that matter. So that culture in the pop scene is still very Common, it's still relatively new in India. Like, of course, you'll find duos like this abroad. You know, like even in Grammys and all, there's a proper category for the best pop duo, and you know, like duo is a concept there. But I think in India, it's just very new. So I think it's catching heat, and we just wanted to sing together at some point, and pretty much that's what started this. So.
Okay, well, here's wishing you both the very best ahead as well. Thank you so much for joining us today on NewsX, and congrats on the new song, and of course, wishing you many more ahead as
well. Thank you so much. Lovely talking to you.
HT worth 16 crore rupees. Let's listen into her success story.
Focusing on the idea to promote traditional Indian handicraft.
Tijori has been a lifestyle brand for over 7+ years now, and the basic premises of the brand is to promote or to bring out the goodness of India.
She's running a global e-commerce website with expanding plans.
Our ability to continually give them business is something that keeps them afloat. So once they are afloat, they can fight pretty much anything.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Mansi Gupta for excellence in business leadership.
Hello and welcome to our special series, NewsX India A-List. I am Priyanka Sharma, and joining me today on the broadcast is the founder and CEO of Tijori, Miss Mansi. Mansi, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Priyanka.
Tell us about your brand, Tijori.
Tijori has been a lifestyle brand for over 7+ years now, and the basic premises for the brand is to promote or to bring out the goodness of India in entire lifestyle format, basically not only fashion but also non-fashion and wellness as categories. And India being the host or the storehouse for a lot of good handicraft weaves. So the main aspiration was for a brand to come out of India that brings out the best of India and present it to the world.
Nice. What is Tijori's business like? Model like?
Model like? Okay, so we primarily operate on a just-in-time method of delivery. In another relatable term, you can also call it fast fashion, in which there is a lot of data involved in sales, that what you sell, and then we fabricate this what is selling more and eliminate what is not selling very well, and doing all of this too fast. And this is what we have always used just-in-time method of production. However, I like to present it like that we also maintain some intelligent inventory, which is the predictable inventory for your 30 to 45 days, so that in an environment like nowadays, where you have the likes of Myntra, Amazon, and the delivery timelines are super short, it is important for us to have a faster delivery timeline as well. So we primarily, as I mentioned, operate on just-in-time method of production with predictable inventory in stock for 30 days.
Moving ahead, what are your plans of expansion?
I think in this year, like the last 2 years, have not gone as per plan for anyone or any brand. However, we've tried to stay agile and try to kind of stay in business and have the growth month on month. Which basically means that we haven't spent a lot of money on brand marketing. Most of the money spent was actually on bringing in the more revenue, etc. So more on performance marketing than brand marketing. I think in 1.5 years from now, and starting almost now, brand marketing has become a huge piece for us as well. I think it's time we need to make that statement in India as to this is who we are. We've been in the market, and people know us, but I think it's a different thing when as a brand you go out there and you make a statement and you say, hey, listen, this is who we are, and here it is, and yeah, it's time. It was due for us in 2020, but it did not happen given the pandemic. But yes, the plan is to do that next.
Since you are a lifestyle brand, can you share your latest campaign with us? What is it all about?
The latest campaign, I think we're in the middle of campaigns right now. So I think the next big one is that's coming is Summer Festival Rakhi. Yeah, so because nowadays, like given the COVID times, every occasion is different. The demands are very different because the crowd is small and people do not want to go and spend a lot of money on the apparel that they're wearing and other things. So the campaigns therefore have been designed keeping all of that in mind. And yeah, I mean, Rakhi is the next big campaign for us. Rakhi and the summer weddings, which we call some festive.
As we all know that the pandemic affected not just the metropolitan cities, but also rural areas. In such a scenario, how did your brand work towards the welfare of artisans?
Artisans are our suppliers, right? And like on top of my mind is this, there's a collection called Pakhi that we had launched a few months back. And this collection is an Ikat collection. And the sad reality was, the good part was the collection did very well. We ran out of stock on the fabric. But when we needed the fabric and we figured out that the weaver died of COVID. So, it's a very sad thing because as much as he wanted to give us the fabric, he could not because of the lockdown, and then we got COVID, which is even worse. So I think for the rural parts or the people or the craftsmen who are working with us and are in the rural parts of the country, our ability to continually give them business is something that keeps them afloat. So once they are afloat, they can fight pretty much anything, right? So I think even if as a business person, as an entrepreneur, my focus, if I just put my focus on selling what they are making, the welfare is kind of automatically getting done. In addition, however, yes, there have been cases where some people have exceptional circumstances that I think that's very human, or that's very natural for anybody to help out people in the setup.
Well, that's a wrap from our end. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. We wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. It was nice chatting with you.
Same here. Thank you.
Providing a financial platform for creators.
Memboro, in a nutshell, is a social media platform where fans can financially support their favorite creators, and creators can provide their exclusive content to their fans.
They help creators get paid for the content they make.
I think how actively and dynamically we are involved with our creators and our users is something that sets us apart from any other startup.
Musics India A-List proudly recognizes Anshul Yadav and Pragya Sikka for excellence in rising startup.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX India A-List. I have with me Anshul Yadav and Pragya Sikka, the co-founders of a homegrown crowdfunding platform called Memboro. Welcome to the show, Anshul and Pragya. So Anshul, let me start with you. When did you start Memboro, and tell us a bit about the platform?
Yeah, so Memboro in a nutshell is a social media platform where fans can financially support their favorite creators and creators can provide their exclusive content to their fans. So a content creator can make membership models and put their exclusive content behind those models. The entire creative control stays with the creator only. A fan can simply subscribe to those models to get access to the content. Apart from it, show their support and love for a creator's content, they can voluntarily contribute any amount of money, which we call a cheer, and to the creator. So Utsav, Pragya, and I came up with this idea around 1 year ago, and we started building the platform then. During the whole development phase, we were in constant contact with many creators so that they can give us feedback and we can come up with a perfect product market fit. We launched on 12th of March and it was a huge success. More than 1,000 users came to visit the platform in just 30 minutes of our launch.
That's great. That's really a huge success. Also, Pragya, tell us about the team behind Memboro. Like Anshul mentioned, there are three of you. Tell us about what sets you apart from other such platforms.
Okay, so Memboro is a platform for the creators by the creators. I and Anshul are artists ourselves. Before actually developing the platform, we talked to over 100 creators to understand their problems and requirements when it came to being financially to financially support their own craft. A young, passionate team has been able to deliver features overnight, a 24/7 customer support, assisting creators who join us with marketing, with helping them to strategize for their content. I think how actively and dynamically we are involved with our creators and our users is something that sets us apart from any other startup.
Right. So how does the crowdfunding process work on your platform? Take us through it.
Yeah, so let's assume that I am a painter and I release one of my painting on any social media platform, be it Instagram or YouTube or Memboro. And you as a fan really liked it a lot and you want to support me for making more such content like this. So you come to my Memboro profile and you write your message and your name and you cheer me some amount. Now that message with your name and your picture is going to stay there on my creator profile forever. So that's how the crowdfunding part works. And your messages, your worships for me and your love for me is going to stay there forever.
Right. So in a concept of, crowdfunding, do you think that it's popular in India? Do you think it has scope, Pragya?
So it's no doubt that the concept is pretty new in Indian subcontinent. It's hard for people to see content creation as a full-time job yet. I mean, during the process and during our journey, a lot of creators told us, how they in fact left their jobs to pursue content creation full-time after joining Memboro. So yeah, I mean, it's time people start realizing the value and potential this whole economy has. Also, it has been seen that people who choose the road less taken by are not able to get, that respect in society. It's not just about money, it's about value and respect a content creator deserves. And yeah, through Memboro, we are trying to break that stigma.
Right. Anshul, tell us about the journey so far for Memboro.
Yeah, so currently the platform supports 100 plus creators and we are gathering more and more users every month. So people are actively engaging with the creators they admire and contributing to their journey. A few of them even wrote to us telling us how they left their jobs, as Pragya mentioned, and become full-time creators after joining Memboro. So yes, the journey has been incredible. To be able to support such passionate creators, it's beautiful.
Right, Pragya, so tell us a bit about the type of creators who can, use your platform for crowdfunding.
Okay, so the scope is definitely abundant. Currently, as Anshul mentioned, we have 100 plus creators on the platform. So there are educators, there are artists, there are singers, there are dancers, there are writers. I think it's about if anyone believes they have something valuable to share with the world, they can use the platform in any way they wish to, because the entire creative control is with you. The whole the whole concept of memberships is entirely controlled by you. So yeah.
Right. So how does this concept of membership work? So I know YouTube has, several ways of sort of having their subscribers join creators and then, be patrons for them. So is that how it works? Is it the same model that is being followed abroad as well, or is it slightly different?
Okay, so the thing is, at Memboro, so whenever a creator can create any amount of memberships. Now these memberships, the content which goes behind these memberships, the pricing of these memberships, the number of availability of slots of these memberships, what content goes, is it a text post, is it a video post, is it an audio post, is it a file, is it, if as I said, there are different types of creators on the platform. It's not just for video creation. It's not just for, comics. As you said, there are models, there are platforms abroad, there are platforms maybe in India as well. But having all of this as one place, being able to engage with your community at such an intimate level, I don't think that's revolutionary.
Right. Also, Anshul, tell us about your future plans. How do you plan to expand and grow Memboro?
Yeah, so a lot of creators and artists takes custom orders and commission works. So commission is one thing that is there in India from a long time, but it is not been able for creators to provide their commission work on the social media platforms. So yeah, on Memboro, we are planning to introduce that, and we are planning to increase the support for it, so that content creators who provide commission work, they would be able to give it through Memboro only. So that's one thing that we are planning. Apart from it, obviously we are planning to join more and more creators and to increase the support to each and everyone. Also, we are planning in the long term to expand globally. So yeah, that's also one thing that is coming.
Pragya, would you like to add to that?
So as Anshul mentioned, over the span of next year, we definitely wish to plan expand globally, and the entire sector of commissions, which is very highly unorganized, and the gap has to be bridged between customers and people who wish to offer those services. So yeah, we definitely plan to enter that as well.
Sounds great. All right, all the best to Team Memboro.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, our next guest for the day, actor Arjun Bajwa, known for his roles in films like Fashion, Rustom, Kabir Singh. He has made big debut with ZEE5 original State of the Siege 2611. Let's listen into him.
Best known for his unconventional acting roles.
Film business happens when people get together, physically get together in groups. Only then the work happens. Yeah. So when you can't do that, there is no work going to happen. You can't be shooting a film sitting by yourself at home.
He will be next seen in Amazon Prime series opposite Shruti Hassan.
You can watch series at home and you can't watch films at home because you want to have that kind of a magnanimous experience, so to say, of the cinema, to go into a theatre and be in a surreal world.
Musics India A-List proudly recognizes Arjun Bajwa for excellence in entertainment.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this interview as part of our NewsX A-List series. We're in conversation today with well-known actor Arjun Bajwa. Arjun, welcome to NewsX. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Well, let me start out by just talking about this very unprecedented time. As I was just telling you earlier, we last spoke in the first lockdown 1.0 last year, and now lockdown 2.0 this year, Arjun. How did you deal with it? How did you stay sane in these very tough times? How were the last few months for you?
I think last year we were a little bit new to the whole scenario, so we did not really know what to do. And even though there was a fear factor, always, a sword was hanging on your head that you were not aware of what the consequences of this kind of a situation would be. Yeah. Still, we were a little more optimistic. This time when it happened, it instilled much more fear because you knew what it could do. Mm-hmm. And considering that the second wave was such a shocking, sudden wave, and it was a complete chaos situation within a few days, I would say, not even weeks or months. It just spread like wildfire. So this time it was more scary because I very clearly remember that by the watch, every 5 minutes, you would hear an ambulance going, which was not the case last year because everybody was locked in completely. True. And the infection rate was not spreading so fast. And this year was a pretty scary situation because all you could see, all you could hear all around was that there is, coronavirus deaths happening, and somebody or the other that you knew was down with it.
Yeah.
People lost their lives. I have lost a lot of really close friends during this time. And so I guess all you can do is hope for the better. Take care of yourself. Keep a positive attitude. It's very easy to say keep a positive attitude. Yeah. I know when it comes down to the situation, the brass tacks, it doesn't obviously. We are all human beings. We are not machines that were attuned to a certain way of things. Yeah. So it's very easy to say it, but what choice do we have? What's the other choice do we have? Instead of just being positive about it and thinking that, okay, fine, let's do what we can in our hands at the moment.
Work-wise for you as well, has it been difficult? Because I think a shoot of yours also got stalled because of this. And plus for actors, it's not easy to work from home. Like certain other professions, have started working from home. You can't do that in the film industry, can you?
Yes, absolutely. Because, it's very easy to say that tumhari shoot ruk gayi hogi yaar. What difference does it make? When is the shoot starting? So, but sometimes for people it becomes entertainment, topic of entertainment. So how are you shooting? How many people are shooting? They don't understand that it's a profession. Our profession is a tough profession because, like you also said, you can't work from home. You can't sit on a desk. Film business happens when people get together, physically get together in groups. Only then the work happens. Yeah. So when you can't do that, there is no work going to happen. You can't be shooting a film sitting by yourself at home, on a camera and putting it across. So it was difficult, no doubt. And we are, like I said, we are part of the same ecosystem, same society, and then everybody has to follow the same norms and same things. And everyone suffered, and so did our work also. Yes, I was shooting for a series, and we just kind of, at the fag end of the shoot, and there's only about a week, 10 days of work which was left around the 15th of April. Yeah. And then the lockdown happened, and we were in fact assuming that maybe another week, 10 days when lockdown is lifted, we'll finish up, and everybody had their own schedules according to the timelines. Yeah. But it's been 2 months and we haven't been able to start, and now it seems that things are getting back to normal and we should resume soon. Great. So yeah, everyone suffered.
I think that's a project you're doing with Shruti Hassan. Is that correct? Are you looking forward to that?
That's right. That's a series for Amazon. Correct.
Okay. Is it interesting? Is the role interesting? The genre? So I know you can't tell us too much, but
well, if it wasn't interesting, why would I be doing it?
Something different for you, or?
It's different in terms of the story. The story is pretty interesting. It's based on a book called Bestseller she wrote by Ravi Subramaniam. So that's a known fact. And it's a thriller, it's a drama. So, a lot of twists and turns. Okay. It's quite entertaining in every way.
Okay. You're just talking now, of course, about your previous projects. A lot of people have been rewatching it. I'm sure you're getting, so much new feedback than it didn't when the first project released. And here I'm talking particularly, of course, about Kabir Singh, which people are watching a lot these days on OTT, and also A State of Siege, a series of yours, which really got a lot of appreciation then, but has been rewatched by a lot of people even now, this time around.
I hope it's being rewatched and it's being watched over and over again multiple times, because State of Siege was a very ambitious project for us, not only in terms of the way it was as subject. It was based on the 2008 Mumbai attacks, and we were trying to give an ode to the NSG, to the Black Hat commandos, who were very instrumental in flushing out the terrorists at that time. Nobody's really kind of made anything from their point of view. So this was made from their point of view, and of course, very well shot, very well made, with all the possible details you could think of. Again, my first series was also based on a book called Black Tornado, The Three Sieges of Mumbai. But unfortunately, it released on the 20th of March, and from 24th March onwards, everything was locked down. So we couldn't really do much of marketing or publicity. We had like a 5-city tour and everything possible, So why I'm saying this is that it's very important for any project to be marketed, publicized before the release in that way, on that scale, for people to understand and know, okay, fine, this is something that we should be watching. All we could do was probably digital promotion on social media and news channels and interviews from home. So that did help, but considering the kind of publicity that we should have got, or the marketing that should have been done, times at that time, so to say, didn't really allow us. Yeah. So I'm very happy that people are watching it. I do get a lot of messages. People have really liked my role in that, which I played of a real life hero of the Indian Army, Colonel Sunil Sharon, now Colonel Saab is Brigadier. So his role was very much appreciated. His role in the whole operation was obviously very instrumental. And that has been watched over and over again. And of course, I'm very happy that all my films, most of them, touch wood, get so much of repeat value on television that every time it's playing on TV, I get messages from, everywhere, whether it's Fashion or Rustam or Kabir Singh and a few South films as well.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing that you work, you have certain milestones in your filmography that people are aware of and they keep looking forward to watching it.
True, true. Finally, Arjun, as things are going to be resuming now to this new normal, as you were saying, hopefully your shoot will restart once again. Theaters will also open up. We've just heard, of course, about Bell Bottom, which has announced its release date already in theaters.
Right.
How are OTT and theaters going to balance out? Do you believe there's going to be an audience for both? Are you going to be doing projects for both simultaneously? How are they going to coexist in this new normal?
See, I'll tell you what. To clarify things between OTT and films, there is no difference as such. It's just a difference of exhibition. Medium of exhibition, so to say. And I wouldn't even call that medium of exhibition because earlier it used to be films used to have satellite rights, so to say, in the correct language.
Yeah.
That it used to be the satellite rights used to be. So what did satellite mean? You could play it on television. It would play on television, right? And now similarly, whatever content is made on a platform called OTT, over the top, right? It's played on small screen. People prefer to watch it on small screen. I myself never watch any series, whether it's on any platform on TV. Yeah. I watch it on my iPad because I find it convenient. It's more of a personal relationship with that series that you're watching. But for an actor, for all the technicians, there is no difference as such because the filmmaking process is exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's rigorous. It's absolutely the same. The kind of stuff that's being made on for OTT in terms of the series are brilliant subjects. Why those subjects are being made on OTTs? Because sometimes you need more elaborate or more time to say those stories, like State of Siege 2611 for that matter. There was so much to say about the Taj attack episode or the Mumbai attacks, which happened at a few places. That you could not have compiled it into a 2-hour film and shown it to people. It needed that kind of detailing.
Yeah.
But as far as films are concerned, films are exactly the same like OTT in terms of shooting process. The filmmaking process is just the same.
Yeah.
It is just that you can watch series at home and you can't watch films at home because you want to have that kind of a magnanimous experience, so to say, of the cinema to go into a theater and be in a surreal world. But films are also releasing on OTT. So I don't know what to say to it in terms of the mishmash or the intermingling of the both.
But I think the point is, of course, that it's both there to entertain and hopefully.
Absolutely. I do have a good balance of a few series and a few films lined up in the coming times, now in the coming months. And I will obviously, as an actor, for me, it's the same process. So I will be, doing both of them. Okay. Whether it's certain series which are really interesting ones or whether it's certain films which are really up my alley.
Well, look forward to those when they do come out. Arjun, thank you so much for joining us once again on NewsX today. All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right. Our final guest for the day is singer Jasleen Royal, known for her several hit songs in Bollywood from hit movies. Her recent rendition of Villain's Chidiya fetched 2 million views on social media. Listen in to her.
Known for her famous music performances, she recently achieved a milestone on social media.
मेरे दिमाग में वो category नहीं है. A good song is a good song, and it doesn't matter if it's a film song or an indie song. So that's how I think.
Music's India A-list proudly recognizes Jasleen Royal for excellence in entertainment.
Hello and welcome to our special series NewsX India A-List. Joining me today on this special broadcast is none other than the very talented Jasleen Royal. Jasleen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me over.
It's our pleasure. Jasleen, if I'm not mistaken, your birthday is on the 8th. How do you plan on celebrating it?
I have been planning since the last 2 years, and this time I'm not planning because there's been a lockdown every time. Yeah. But I'm grateful, things are better now and people are getting vaccinated. Yeah. So I'm not planning on anything because right now I don't think you should be planning things because it's very random. So I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah.
Right. Also, have there been any key lessons during the pandemic?
Yes, of course. As in, like everyone else, I got to spend some time with my family, and you just get lost in this rut of life where you just think about work, and you just put everything on the sideline and you think, हाँ कर लेंगे, maybe next year, next month. Yeah. So it's been a wake up call, balance it out. Because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, you can't control things. So balance it out. Like, balance your work life with your personal life. Give time to your family. And it's okay. Take it easy. Like, sometimes things might not fall on your, like, timelines. Sometimes you see, me ko 35 se pehle ye karna hai, 30 se pehle ye kar raha hai. And it's okay. Just have fun.
Absolutely. Also, how has it been creating music during the pandemic? Is it as fun as you make it seem like, or do you have to really push yourself?
On the positive side, yes. Like, we did get a lot of time on our hands. Yeah. If you were like lucky enough to not get COVID and fight with the whole system, the hospitals and everything, like that's what I'm saying. I've been one of the lucky ones. There were not many serious issues. So us time mila hai, but seeing what's happening around you with your family, your friends and close relatives. So I've not been in that mind space to be able to focus on just music. But yes, wherever I did get the time, I did work on some songs, and I'm waiting to shoot a couple of songs which are pending since last year. So just waiting. Jaisi situation better hoti, I'm just gonna go shoot and release them.
Speaking about songs, you recently came up with some beautiful songs like Sang Rahiyo and Nit Nit. Which one has been your personal favorite?
My personal favorite is gonna come. Like the next two songs I'm releasing are my personal favorites. But yes, I've gotten a lot of love for Sang Rahiyo from people, and Nit Nit has a special place in my heart because it stars my dog, Kobe. So he's the most favorite member of our family. So that song hamesha special rahega because of his presence in it.
Right.
I sound very cheesy, but yeah, that's the truth.
Can you hum a few lines for us?
Yes, sure. निभनी तेरे तो मैनू अब पता से रखे यकीन बस मेरी खता से दिल दुखा के मेरा तू ते सो गया है वे यारा रुस के बह गया इश्क मेरे तो मनदानी मेरी यारा तेरा गया कुछ नहीं मेरा गया कुछ नहीं गल्ला तेरा सच नहीं ओ तेरा गया कुछ नहीं मेरा कुछ नहीं. Thank you. Sorry about the
beautiful. Trust me, when I hear your voice, I get goosebumps. So kudos to you. You've got a beautiful voice. So let's move on and reflect on your journey a little bit. How has it been, especially as an indie artist?
To be honest, like when I started listening to music, मेरे दिमाग में ऐसे ना कभी रहा ही नहीं है कि indie and Bollywood. And like I grew up listening to Lucky Ali. and A.R. Rahman. My most favorite, obviously Shankar Ehsaan Loy, Amit Trivedi, and all these guys have done both film music and non-film music, and I've loved the songs for the songs, not like because अरे ये तो indie song ही ज़्यादा अच्छा है या ये Bollywood song है तो ये बेकार होगा. Sometimes you have that bias.
Right.
तो वो मेरे दिमाग में नहीं है, and I just want to make music. So somehow like that's what has happened in my journey also. Din Shagnada was released as an independent song on my channel, which got later picked up by Anushka Sharma for a film Filori. So मेरे दिमाग में वो category नहीं है. A good song is a good song, and it doesn't matter if it's a film song or an indie song. So that's how I think.
Who is your inspiration? Is there a particular singer that you really want to collaborate someday?
I love Lucky Ali's voice. It gives me goosebumps. I don't know, it just takes me to another world. And A.R. Rahman. I think he's my dream collaboration. His melodies are haunting, and I am a music composer because I got introduced to his music.
Right. Jasleen, your songs have taken social media by a storm, be it the covers, song renditions. Do you think that digital is the future of music?
Of course. Digital is the future of many things right now. I like how the power has come to, it's not lopsided now. It's not with the labels or the corporates, and it's with creators too. So that's what I love about, social media. You have a song, you put it and it'll reach people, and if it's good, it stays. If it's not, then you release another. It's not like, there are people calling the cards कि तुम ये ऐसा बनाओ, उसके जैसा करो, which used to be a little, sad. But having said that, there's a flip side also. मतलब उसके बारे में पर हम बात नहीं कर रहे हैं. But हाँ, मतलब digital is the way, and I think it's great.
Right. Also, last but not the least, can you tell us something about your upcoming projects? You mentioned about those 2 songs. Can you tell us what they're about and what can the fans expect from you this year?
The next song is going to be totally different from what I've done so far. And personally, I like experimenting with my music a lot. मेरे को same तरह के गाने बनाना अच्छा नहीं लगता है. तो ये तो बहुत ही अलग है, and people will be like, okay, I don't know what the reaction is going to be, but it's going to be okay. I don't know, is it good okay, bad okay? I hope they love it. And then there's another song which is featuring one of my one of my favorite artists, he's a male actor in the video. So I'm really excited about that project. मैं ज़्यादा नहीं बता पाऊँगी. But as soon as things are clear, we'll connect again, and I'll be able to tell everyone who's listening to the interview.
That's amazing. Well, all the best for those 2 songs, and many more songs to come.
Thank you.
That's a wrap from our end.
Yes,
Happy birthday in advance.
So much.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Priyanka.
Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.